Hey guys, so just want to do a quick segment here on what we're going to do starting tomorrow since we're going to be doing live trade, well, real trades. So I look back at my account, so I have 3,300 bucks roughly on my account left. So that's our starting balance. I'm not going to put any more in, right? So keep that in mind. So I'm going to copy this value 3303. Okay, so and some change. Okay. So what we're gonna do is this. We're not gonna do three contracts, right? Because that will just be too devastating. I think you're gonna do something that big, you will need a much bigger account. So, and a lot of us don't have a lot of money to just park, you know, to just trade with, right? So, but I think 3,300 bucks is very reasonable. I used to have a lot in there, and I took a big loss last year. Um, Before I start doing this, right, to practice, because I went straight in after watching some videos and after reading, I just went straight in thinking that this is easy. So lesson learned there, right? You got to practice because practice makes perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do here is you can see that my account balance and each one of these is a day, right? So tomorrow is day one officially. We will be doing one contract, okay? And we're going to do one contract for 10 days. Okay, we're going to do it for 10 days and then we're going to increase to two contract for another 10 days and then we're going to increase to three contract, right? There's a few reasons why I wanted to do it like that. Okay, so first, we've been trading in stimulation in basically paper trading mode, and although it's supposed to mimic the real world, but you never know. And the psychology, your mindset between paper where it doesn't matter is much different than when real money is on the line, right? So I think starting low, let yourself ease in and get used to this psychology thing is a good idea. Second, we have to have a way to increase our contract size or our trade size, right, in order to grow our account effectively. Now, if you have $10,000 in there and you want to do three contract, that's fine. But for me, I don't want to put any more money in. I already got $3,300 in there. I'm going to use that. And so this is what this file really shows us here. Okay, so our target profit is really $100, okay, a day, right now, based on the initial, okay, and the formula will automatically, based on one contract, the formula automatically adjusts as soon as you increase your contract. So just so that you have the context on what $100 is, right? So 1 point, remember the one-on-one video, 1 point when we get a scalp, that is 100, that is $50, right? 1 point is $50. And so what we're really saying is that, hey, if our daily target is $100, we're really saying is that we only need two successful trades, right? Now think about that. When we were practicing, that some day that we do seven, some day we did 10, right? And I think there's one day where we did like 11 or 12, but that's a lot of trades. And every time you enter a position, you are basically exposing yourself to risk, right? Because I mean, it's a high probability trades, but that doesn't mean it's 100% successful. Um, that's why, telling yourself that, you know what, every day you're really only targeting two trades, two good trades, it really takes some pressure off, right? And like I mentioned earlier, um, to increase, right? If your account size is big, you don't need to go out and look for more trades, right? You don't have to go out and say, you know what, I want to do 10 trades because I want to make more money. You just need to find a way to effectively increase your um, um, your trade size, right? Rather than go out there and try to put more trades out there and expose yourself to additional risk. So what this is even though our stop loss is default to 2 points, right, which is $100, but understand that sometimes depends on the your signal bar. Okay, if your signal bar is big, your stop loss will always be one tick below or above your signal bar, depending on you're shorting or you're going long. So I said, hey, average risk if we're gonna lose a trade is $150. Okay, that's basically 1 to 3. Okay, I think this will compensate for when you have something that is 2, and this is compensating for something that you have a little bit over 2, right? 150 is very fair. Okay, and if you look at the success rate, let me pull up the other file here. Okay, so this is what we use to track the. I'm pretty sure you guys familiar with this. This is what we use to track the paper trades, right? So sometimes we got 1 out 1, right? So this right here is you're losing 3 trades here, right? What that is that hey, it's $400 if your average risk is 150. Okay, let's take this in. So 190. Okay, so let's get back here. So this is what it is. This is what it is. Every 10 day, we will increase our contract size. And another reason why we have to start out, we have to be proportionate to our trade size, right? Every time you take a loss at this level, it's 4.5%, right? As soon as you increase it, it's almost 7% of your bankroll, your account size, right? That's not always the case. You can see that as you scroll down, after you went through about, after you go through about on your 4th-ish day, it's starting to get smaller. And if you continue to go, it gets smaller and smaller. The reason I set it up that way is because I think it's completely acceptable to take a higher risk up here because it is a higher risk, but you're only risking it on one contract. Once you start increasing your contract size, you want to have it proportionate. This is a little high here, but I think it's still manageable based on this account size. But once you go down here where you have 10 contract, see how it's only 3% of your contract size? That's if you're taking a loss, right? But keep in mind that since we're only looking for 2 or 3 trades a day, so anything that is high risk or anything that doesn't fit our criteria perfectly, we're just gonna ignore it, right? I think that's the key is that hey, you know what? Aim low, and that's all you're getting, right? You don't need a lot. You don't need 10. You don't need 10 like sometimes we do here. So over here, on average, we did on average for the last 6 7 weeks. Let's see what's the average here. Average. So for the last 10 days or so, we average about 6 trades. Okay, we don't need to do that. Okay, so what that is, so for the next 10 days, we're only going to be doing 1 contract, and after that, we're going to do 2, and so on, right? Every 10 days, we're going to increase 1. So there are 253 trading days in a year. Okay, 253 trading days in a year, and if we follow this compounding strategy, or if we follow this this method of increasing our trade size, okay, after 253 days, which is roughly a year, right? Because we're only looking at, well, which is a year, which is and since we're only looking at trading days, and we're targeting $100 for every contract that we trade a day, which is very doable. Okay, after a day, our account would have grown to $333,000. Okay, just think about that. I full disclosure, I have not done this before, right? That's why I'm kind of excited. And in order to do this, you have to have discipline and you have to follow the plan, right? The only thing that we're not going to do is that, hey, in order to increase to the next, in order to step over to the next size, you have to have an account balance equal or higher than this, right? I thought about, hey, you know what? If you did really good on one day and suddenly you got here early, should you jump over? I'm like, no, I don't think so. That would just, your account would just be a lot bigger towards the end of the year. But you want to make sure you have this amount so that before you step up is so that your risk is not too big in relation to your account size. That's the only thing that I'm going to do. deviate from this, right? So if I have to spend 3 additional day at 10 day 10 just so that I can make up for some of the losing days, be it. But based on our past performance, I don't think we have to do that too often. Okay, again, only two. That's almost 10,000% gain. Okay, so I just want to share this with you guys so that so that tomorrow when you look and see, hey, you know what? Why is this guy only doing one contract? And this is why. And let's just say we're doing a lot better. We actually got $150 per contract per day, right? You'll be almost at $500,000, which is incredible, right? That is 15,000% gain almost. Okay, I'll go over more over this. I'm starting to utilize this kind of ramp up strategy on some of my stock trade and options trading as well. Like I said, I haven't done this before. You need a lot of discipline and self-control when you do this, right? Because it is slow. I mean, you look at the way that it's growing, it's really slow. But even if you at $33,000, right? So um, just 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 look at this, right? So 3,300, okay? So in our 10K journey, we spent 58 days, okay? 58 days, and we didn't increase our contract size. We basically did three, right? Someday we did really good, but I would say, hey, the average here is, let's see what the average is. The average of all these, including the losing trades, is actually $177. Okay, that's way more than that's more than 150. Okay, so take a look at this. So if you were to increase your size, contract size, 58, your account would actually be at $32,000 versus up only $10. I mean $10,000. See? And as you go through this, right, it's gonna get a lot more interesting. But I think a lot of people they just have this mindset that I want to get rich trading, and the only way I can do that is that I have to risk more money, right? You don't have to do that. We just have to follow a certain plan and be really disciplined in following it too. Okay, I'm really excited about this. Like I said, I haven't done it before, right? But imagine what our financial situation would be like if we can take $3,300 in 1 year, turn it to $300,000. Okay, all right, can't wait, can't wait for tomorrow. We just have to be really disciplined, looking for good trades and do that. Wait, I meant to copy this. So 294, 194, because $100 is, so technically if you're only looking for two trades, right? 194 times 2. So it would actually be, I'm just going to be realistic. If we only do two trades a day and we stop, it would be, oops, minus 3.88. That's the commission cost, right? So it's okay. So every day, because of commission, if we get two successful trades on average, we're looking at $96 because of the commission. Still, 3,300 bucks will turn into 320,000. I don't know about you, but the median income in America is a lot less than 320. Okay, so let's do that. I'm still thinking about what to call this journey, right? You know what? Let's call it. I name it 1 million journey. Let's see how long would it take us to get to a million. I'm just gonna do a lot so that not yet. There you go. So a million would take us about 453 days. So about almost 2 years, a little shy of 2 years, right? But I think there's some flaw with that, right? I just don't know how I just don't know if the ES has the liquidity to handle 46 contract per trade. But right now, let's just not get ahead of ourselves, right? We're gonna call it, um, let's just call it the $1 million journey and see as soon as we pretty much we have to stop at some high number of contracts, right? Because if it if we don't have the liquidity, we're gonna be in trouble, right? Um, so that's the only thing that I can think of right now. But let's just call it the $1 million journey, right? It's gonna take us a little bit. Uh, it's gonna take us over a year for sure, unless we do really well. Now I'm aiming for 2 trades, right? But hey, if I see 3 really good ones, I'm gonna go for it, right? So it's the the sky's the limit pretty much. But based on my research, the ES should be able to handle 30 to 35 contracts easily. I even saw some video where the guy's trading 25 contract and it get filled. But we won't we won't run into that problem for a while, right? So 10 contract, I know I trade that before when I said I lose a bunch of money. I don't know how to size my trades correctly, right? So I lost a bunch of money, and then I have to tell myself, hey, you gotta slow down. Okay. All right. I don't want to make it too long, but just take a look at this, right? I think it's pretty good. I think it's a pretty good plan. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow and give you guys update on the first one.